Yeah, brothers and sisters, Hotep Black Pals always giving honor to the creator, the ancestors, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, my sister, my in-laws, my father, my subscribers, viewers, and everyone that's fighting for the liberation and salvation of the black nation. Yeah, I wanted to just discuss something real briefly, about 4 or 5 minutes of your time. This picture that you see is Benjamin Banneker. And Benjamin Banneker, a lot of people may not realize or know a lot of the in-depth stuff that he was. He was a born slave. He became so-called free, but if we enslaved, we still in slavery. Imagine how it was in the late 1700s. Nevertheless, he was an astronomer that had the gift from the Creator and the ancestors to be a phenomenal astronomer. He also designed Washington, D.C. Now, they tried to give Pierre L'Enfant, George Washington tried to give Pierre L'Enfant the credit and acknowledging him for the creation of Washington, D.C. But Pierre L'Enfant was a straight alcoholic and homosexual that used to fall out and piss all over himself. So Benjamin Banneker took over the plans of development of Washington, D.C., and he created it himself. He created a diamond-shaped Washington, D.C., 10 miles in diameter, 10 miles each way, generally 40 square miles, with a huge rock at every mile. He had 40 rocks surrounding. For every mile it was a rock, a big stone, and those stones represented a mile, and those 40 miles in diameter in the diamond-shaped Washington, D.C. With the middle of Washington, D.C. being in the middle of 16th Street, directly across from the Masonic Lodge, the Scottish Rite Temple. The door of the Scottish Rite Temple, when you go into the middle of the street on the median strip, that is the middle of Washington, D.C., the center of Washington, D.C. Now, to the right is Meridian Park, which they renamed it Malcolm X Park. You know, and when it was Meridian Park, it's a huge park where white homosexuals used to conjure and meet at night, you know, and have all types of perverted sex in that park. But it was changed to Malcolm X Park, and now, you know, they play the African drums, and, you know, it's more, it's been cleaned up, you know, a great deal, so to speak. And so Benjamin Banneker was very powerful, very, very powerful brother. He was multi-talented as well. You know, an amazing mathematician. George Washington Carver, who had 1,001 uses for a peanut. But he was a genius when it came to plants. It is said that he had the ability to talk to plants, to make them talk back to him in the form of the way they grew. Extremely gifted, created so much. Even Henry Ford went to George Washington Carver and asked him to help him produce an assembly line. The mechanisms and the machinery to create a assembly line for his cars. George Washington Carver never got the credit for it. He also had a high-pitched voice of a woman. And that was because he was raised in a white so-called Jewish family who castrated him. It is said that he was castrated with no anesthesia because of the white man's and the white woman's fixation with the black man's penis. They have an amazing fixation of the black man's penis. And so that is said for the reason he had a high-pitched voice like a woman. And he did not want to reveal to the world, I assumed out of fear, that he was castrated by those people. So he would rather have the people think that he was gay than to inform them that he was castrated. If you ever listen to any of George Washington Carver's lectures or anything, or hear him speak, you will understand why. You will understand clearly why. He had a very, very high-pitched voice. It was something like a Michelle A of Death Row, you know. And I'm not being funny at all, you know. So give props to that brother. You know, this is the brother Metzingler, who created the what you call the shoe machine, you know, which he made excuse me, the shoe machine, you know, to make boots, to make shoes, leather shoes, the shoe tongue, the heel, and very, 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 very genius, very genius brother. Elijah McCoy, who created the components to make a engine, the train, steam engine on the train. And a lot of crackers tried to duplicate his mechanisms that he had created, and they were unsuccessful. And so every time they tried to sell, the train companies, their particular items, those particular contraption, well, that mechanism, they would always ask, is this the real McCoy? And that's where the term comes from, the real McCoy. And a lot of them couldn't say that unless they had purchased that particular piece from Elijah McCoy. And they would respond that, yeah, this is the real McCoy. Forgive me, but I forgot this brother's name. Forgive me. I don't have time to go look for it. Give me a second. Yeah, excuse me. I apologize. I just want to go back and retract some things that I didn't mention about Benjamin Banneker. About at age 24, you know, how he created the clock, the wooden clock. The wooden clock. And so when you see the, yes, so Benjamin Banneker, once again, because I've been getting a lot of calls, brothers and sisters, so please forgive me. Sometimes I may lose my train of thought or lose where I'm at. But nevertheless, at 1754, at the age of 24, he created the wooden clock. And so He that's why you see the big clock in London. They call that clock Big Ben, named after Benjamin Banneker. And that's why you always see every clock or every watch that you see, you always see the time will say 10:10. And I'll let you do the research and find that out. So he was also a hell of a surveyor in DC. Bad brother, and I just want to pay homage to some of these inventions that, we take for granted, and that, we buy these watches, we wear watches, but rarely do we, when we purchase a watch, do we, give honor and say Hotep and Black Power or Ashe or Assalam or whatever to Benjamin Banneker, So I just wanted to, drop that on you. And I know George Washington Carver, Ian Metzingler, that's the shoe machine I was telling you all about. You wouldn't have Timberlands, you wouldn't have Air Jordans or none of that if it weren't for Ian Metzingler. There would not be trains running if it weren't for Elijah McCoy. You would have no subways or none of this if it wasn't for the invention of those mechanisms that allowed the steam trains to run if it weren't for Elijah McCoy. Henry Baker, who created the golf tee. And Cracker tried to take claim for his invention, but nevertheless, Henry Baker was the originator and the inventor of the golf tee. Now, I wonder how many of his relatives received money from Tiger Woods, Fuzzy Zeller and all these other devils, Arnold Palmer and the rest of the devils that have won millions in the Masters from this golf tee that Henry Baker produced. Garrett Morgan. Let's go to Ian Metzingler. Did I do Ian Met? No. This is Louis Latimer, who Thomas Edison is giving credit for the fucking light bulb. When Louis Latimer created the light bulb. Get the book. This is what we call stolen legacy. These inventions, and our ancestors had millions of more inventions that was just taken, plagiarized and taken by devils, in which they received credit, and their descendants receive royalties and millions of dollars today for inventions that our ancestors made that was taken from them. What about the descendants of Louis Latimer? How New York and Times Square is lit up. How all the stadiums are lit up with these big giant tail screens. Your LG flat screens. Resulted from Louis Latimer. I mean, brothers and sisters, we gotta really give honor and homage to our ancestors. Garrett Morgan created the stoplight, the gas mask, among many other inventions that this brother made. But the traffic light and the gas mask being the most prestigious, because traffic would be haywire if it weren't for the traffic lights. And right to today, U.S. troops would not be able to deal in combat in the desert if it weren't for these gas masks that was invented by Garrett Morgan. And he invented so many other things. You know, but we do not give credit to Garrett Morgan for those who drive. When you pull up and the light is red, no one says anything and give homage to Garrett Morgan. Even in Prince George's County, Maryland, on the right outside of D.C., maybe 2 miles outside of D.C., where the Redskins play the FedEx Field, the street before you get to FedEx Field is called Garrett Morgan Boulevard. It has a traffic light there, and no one gives Garrett Morgan credit in D.C. and the surrounding counties. I've never heard no one give him credit. And so, we need to be real mindful of these things. You know, brothers and sisters, this, and those who I haven't mentioned, Henry Sampson, who we would not be on the cell phone nor be able to do YouTube videos stemming from the cell phones if it weren't for Henry Sampson, which his invention was stolen, plagiarized, and sold to the Japanese. Now it's called Samsung. Wouldn't have LG TVs or anything if it weren't for Henry Sampson. Now you want to talk about the internet. It's a brother over in Africa who created the first computer, first motherboard, and the first computer internet system. This was in early 1970. And so, we have, brothers and sisters, I do my best to try to give you all, the best information, much information as I can. I'm not, encyclopedia or anything. And speaking of encyclopedias, Benjamin Banneker created the almanac. And this is just, this is the reason that we have no date of existence. They don't know when the black man and woman actually came in existence. There is no date. And so, it's real special, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. Want to send out condolences once again to Donye Jones in Ferguson, who was lynched 2 weeks ago. We sent out deepest condolences to his mom, Melissa McKinney, who is a street activist. And I just want to let you know that we are with you. We are only a phone call away. And if we get the green light, the street law soldiers will be heading towards Ferguson. We will be flying there and coming to see some folks and stand and lock arms with you all. Not for the we shall overcome, but the we shall overrun. The never again, never again. to help bring some people to this just us system, to ensure that the investigation, there is an investigation, which I truly don't think there is an investigation. How can the Klan investigate the Klan? You think the Blue Klux Klan gonna investigate the Ku Klux Klan? I don't think so. Yeah, so it's no, you know, the investigation probably is zero, and once again, like you cannot expect the Blue Klux Klan to investigate the Ku Klux Klan. So there needs to be, people need to be held accountable. People need to be brought to just us and dealt with severely, which we know is not going to happen. And that's the media. Multi-ethnic destruction in America. That's what media means. Or maniac European devils in action. Thanks to Professor Griff. However, we know this, and just with the media, they will pretend like something is being done. Just because they say it's an investigation, it doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. All that means is that they want to put you to sleep, to make you think that they're doing something about something that they don't give a fuck about. To them, he's another dead nigga. And see, this is why it is so imperative for us to become liberated and restore the black communities, like I discussed in the last video. You know, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to give ourselves a try? I was looking for my famous lemonade, but I'll get to it in a second. But, you know, I just wanted you all to just take some time in your day to pay homage to the Creator and your ancestors for the work that they done, the sacrifices that they made, that their works will come to fruition, and that the descendants of those ancestors will continue on with their legacy and carry the torch and become 100 times more creative to once again rule the world as we did before. And so, give a hotep and shout out to my mother, my queen, daughter, my grandchildren, even some of my neighbors, you know, my in-laws, you know, brother Julius Wright, you know, give him and his family, you know, and I wish nothing but the best for us all. This is where I'm at today. You know, now tomorrow we'll be dealing with some more severe issues that I have lined up. Hopefully you got something out of this video. You don't critique me to the nth degree. As always, you know, your support, your contributions, and your donations are very well needed at this particular time. So those who have made contributions, I appreciate you, and encourage those who haven't yet to please assist the black community with your donations, because that's what we're doing. We're trying to uplift our people. Hotep, Black Power. As always, again, thank you for tuning in to another version of the Shaka Sankofa show, video show. Until we meet again, brothers and sisters. Hotep, Black Power.